Hey friends, so this is our second week of sound, and last week we learned kind of an overview of sound, but this week we're actually going to be doing more of an in-depth look at pitch and volume. So our objectives are we will discover that pitch is how high or low a sound is, and we will learn that volume describes how loud or soft a sound is, and we will take a closer look at sound. So before we begin, so make sure that you've watched the YouTube videos, Science versus Music, which are linked. It shows how sound waves travel through solids, liquids, and gases, which is what we talked about last week. So this video is linked for you in our Google Classroom. And this is just a review of sound and vibrations. So remember that sound is energy that you hear. So when we close our eyes and listen to the sounds around you, what do you hear? Well, there's two clocks in the living room right now, so that's what I hear. Do you hear clock ticking or kids talking or maybe your parents are talking? They're all different kinds of sounds, but they all start the same way. What way is that? They all start with a vibration. So when something vibrates, it moves quickly back and forth. And once the vibration stops, the sound stops. You can see and feel vibrations, but you cannot hear them. You hear the sound. Kind of tricky, right? So this is just a review of what sound is. So these are the anchor charts that we looked at last week. So sound is a form of energy, and it's created when matter vibrates, and that vibrations can make sound waves. So that is kind of what that sound wave looks like, but remember that we cannot see sound waves. And then it talks about energy and how it's absorbed in our ear. And when an object vibrates, it causes movement in the air particles, and it's called the sound waves. So that is low frequency. So the vibrations are slower, and then high frequency notes are when the vibrations are fast. And that's pitch, is how low or how high the sound is. So that's all just a little review. So have you ever been told to listen when someone speaks? So some people speak softly while others speak loudly. And some people have high voices and some people have very low voices. So can you squeak like a mouse? Squeak, squeak, squeak. So squeaky sounds are high sounds. So can you make a booming sound like a drum? Boom, boom, boom. Booming sounds are low sounds. You can tell the difference between this and between this. So you can squeak loudly and you can boom softly. Pitch is how high or how low a sound is. So sing a tune and listen to the pitch of your voice change. So sing your favorite song, maybe hum it in your head, and listen to the high and low sounds in that song. So try making different pitches with your voice. So a pitch, remember, is how high or how low a sound is. How do you make different sounds, and how are sounds different? So there are many ways to make sounds. You can make sounds by singing or playing an instrument, by whispering, or even hitting an object. Sounds have pitch. So remember, we just talked about that. Pitch is how low or how high the sound is. And fast waves have a high pitch and slow waves have a low pitch. A siren on a police car, for example, has a high pitch. When you hear that coming, it's high, it's loud, okay? So that has a fast waves. How can you describe different sounds? So when someone hits a big drum, it makes slow sound waves. The big drum has a low pitch. If you hit the drum hard, it is loud. If you hit the drum softly, it makes a quieter sound, but keeps its low pitch. So the same instrument, the drum, will keep the same pitch. It's always low. So did you know that pitch tells you how high or low a sound is? It is not the same as volume. Volume tells you how loud or how quiet a sound is. So pitch is how high or low the sound is, and volume is how loud or quiet the sound is. So what is pitch? That's what we're digging in deeper to. So we've talked about that a lot. So pitch is how high or how low a sound is. The speed of the object's vibration will determine its pitch. So fast vibrations make a high pitch and slow vibrations make a low pitch. Size matters. So short or thin objects make a high pitch. Long or thick objects make a low pitch. So here's what the vibrations look like. And remember that we can't see these with our own eye, but this is the sound waves. So here is the slower vibration. So this is the low pitch. So this is what the sound waves from a drum would look like. And remember, when the sound waves go out, we learned this last week, it doesn't just go out in one direction. Sound waves go out in all directions. So as I'm speaking, the sound waves are all around me if you could see them. So low pitch has the slower vibrations, and faster vibrations are for the high pitch. So that's really cool to see. Okay. So what is volume? So we've talked about pitch, and now we're going to talk about volume. So pitch is how low or high the sound is, but volume is how loud or how soft a sound is. So the amount of energy in the sound determines if it is loud or soft. More energy makes a loud sound. Less energy makes a soft sound. So loud sounds travel longer distances, and softer sounds travel shorter distances. So think about the energy that it takes you to scream at your friend across the playground. It takes a lot of energy. But then think about how much less energy it takes to whisper something to your friend in class. Okay, there's just an example. If you can't hear somebody clearly, move closer to them. That way, their sound waves will reach your eardrums before they begin to fade out. So, if somebody can't hear you, that means you need to amplify your voice. So, you can clasp your hand around your mouth or use a megaphone. That will help make you louder by forcing the sound waves to come out of your mouth. So, right now, the sound waves are kind of just everywhere around me. But I'm going to force the sound waves to go out in one direction. So I make this cup with my mouth and it'll be louder because I'm pointing those in one direction. The more energy you use to make sound, the more tired you will be. Think of your teacher. She or he has to use a loud voice all day to be heard across the classroom. Boy, your teacher must be tired by the time the class goes home at the end of the day. That is true. So test energy versus volume. So first, clap as loud as you can until your teacher tells you to stop. So go ahead and clap as loud as you can. Stop. All right. Next, clap as soft as you can until your teacher tells you to stop. Stop. So did it take you more energy to clap loudly or more energy to clap softly? Right. You should have said it took more energy to clap loudly than softly. Great job. So let's talk. Are these sounds loud or soft? So a music concert, is that loud or is that soft? Think about all the speakers that they have and all the instruments that they're going to play and the crowd that they have to play too. Everyone needs to hear this music. So is it loud or soft? Loud, right. All right, so a mouse squeaking, is that loud or is that soft? Soft, correct. What if you snap a finger? Is that loud or is that soft? I think it's pretty soft. Some people have more of, like my brother has huge hands. He's very tall and very big. So if he snaps his finger, it's kind of scary because his hands are just so big. But for me and for you guys, it's probably going to be more of a soft sound. What about thunder? Is that loud or is that soft? Yeah, I think thunder is pretty loud. We had a thunderstorm the other night and it kept me up quite late because it was so loud. And what about whistling? Is that loud or is that soft? I would think soft. Okay, and what about water dropping? I think that can be loud or soft depending on how hard the water is coming down, right? Awesome job. So look at these 4 photos. They show different objects that make sounds. So describe the sound each one makes. So tell if the sound is loud or soft and if the sound has a low pitch or a high pitch. So let's talk about this first image. It looks like a waterfall, right? So let's first think about the sound. Is it loud or is it soft? Think about that for a minute. Look at all that water coming down. I think it's pretty loud. I've stood next to a waterfall before and it's super loud. I couldn't hear my neighbor talking to me because of all that water rushing down the rocks. So, yes, it is a loud sound. So is it a low pitch or a high pitch? I think it's a pretty low pitch. Um, it makes that low sound, so it's like. So I'm gonna say a low pitch. And think about a church bell. It looks like over here on the right. Now, is that a loud or soft sound? Right, I think it's loud because church bells are meant to be heard by a bunch of people, so it needs to be loud. And does it have a low pitch or a high pitch? I think a high pitch too. Yes, great job. Now let's take a look at these birds over here in the bottom corner. So is it a loud or soft sound? I think it's pretty soft. hmm And is it a low pitch or a high pitch? I think most birds are a high pitched sound. Yes, awesome job. And then we have this wolf. So what is the sound? Is it loud or is it soft? I think it's pretty loud too. Okay, great job. And is the low pitch or a high pitch? I think it's a low pitch because they're like, ooh, yeah, low pitch. Awesome job. Oh, there's our answers. Loud and low, loud and high, good job. Soft and high, good job. And loud and low. Great job. Alrighty, and there's a video that you guys are going to watch. Like I said before, it's not going to work if I play it on here. The sound wouldn't work, so you're going to watch that independently. And you're going to watch the effects of volume. So the invisible pollution. Ouch, my ears hurt. Have you ever felt this way around loud noises? If so, you were probably experiencing the effects of noise pollution. Noise pollution is the word scientists give to sounds that can harm the people and creatures who hear them. So you can usually see pollution on land, in the air, or in water. We've talked about that a lot, right? But noise pollution is invisible. You can't see it, but it's still harmful to those who get in its path. So, when sound becomes pollution, sounds are all around us. You wake up to an alarm clock, the phone rings, your cat meows. The ability to hear sounds is a great gift. Not all sounds are pleasant, but they are necessary. Car and airplane engines, mowers, loudspeakers, these kinds of things help people function in the world. Unfortunately, these necessary sounds sometimes reach a volume that's dangerous for people and animals alike. So if they get too loud or last too long, they become noise pollution. So nobody really likes the sound of a jackhammer. Have you ever seen those on construction sites? It's where they bust up the concrete. It's like, it's super loud. But we all know that it's sometimes necessary for road repairs. So if a jackhammer operated outside of your bedroom all night long, this would be noise pollution. It would keep you from sleeping. And as a result, it would harm your health because we all need sleep to survive. Even happy sounds become pollution when they cause harm to those who hear them. For example, some people love fireworks and they love how they look and the big booms that they make. But if a firework explodes too close to you, it could damage your ear. That's why these fireworks, not only for the fire safety, but because of the sound and the noise pollution, they're always shot off far away from people. So these two examples, a long running or close by jackhammer and loud fireworks that are too close, show how sounds can become pollution when they either last too long or become too loud. So the problem with noise pollution is that noise pollution is not just annoying, but it can cause health problems for people and animals. So, for example, those loud noises can cause hearing loss. Noise pollution can also affect your sleep because of the noise that keeps you up at night. And not getting enough sleep affects your health. It makes you tired and grumpy and less able to concentrate. And some people actually get headaches and even serious heart problems when they have constant noise pollution. All right, so now we're going to talk about something called decibels. So noise is measured. Did you know that you can measure noise? That's super cool, right? Noise is measured in units called decibels. So the greater the number of decibels, the louder the noise. So this thermometer can give you an idea of how loud some noises are. So noise levels are counted in decibels. It's indicated on the thermometer and they're approximate as measured at typical listener's distance. So if you're exposed to sounds above, right here's about 70. So if you're exposed to sounds above 70 decibels for a long time, it can harm your hearing sooner or later. So whether you enjoy it or not, too much noise can cause permanent hearing impairment. The louder the sound is and the longer you listen to it, the more likely damage will occur. So, for example, a rock musician who is around loud music every night is likely to get a hearing impairment from too much loud music much sooner than a band student who is around the same loud music for only an hour a day. If you have had difficulty hearing or understanding what someone said, you have had ringing in your ears after being in a noisy place, you have been unable to hear very well after listening to loud music or other sounds for a long time, then you may have been exposed to a loud sound that is hazardous for your hearing health. All right. So your independent work is task number 1. So it's pitch and volume of sound. And you're going to go through, you're going to read this article, and you're going to answer the questions. And then your task 2 is something a little fun, and it's a volume sort. So all you're going to do is talk about if these sounds are loud or if they're soft, and you're going to put them in the correct category. So thank you guys so much for engaging in this lesson, and I will see you